Hey guys, armbar from the mount. Now let's take a look at one of the very first submissions you're probably going to learn in Jiu-Jitsu, the armbar. And thankfully this is actually one of the highest percentage submissions that you can do. Specifically today we're going to be looking at this armbar from the mount position. You can do this armbar from many different positions, but one of the most simple would be to do it from the mount. So, however we ended up in the mount, there you go, you're there, good for you, you got some points. But let's look at doing the armbar now once we've gotten to that position. So coach is going to be on his back. Okay, so I'm in the mount. Again, however I ended up here, that's great. Okay, so what we like to do is we like to have control over their arms. My opponent wants their arms to be like a tight T-Rex arm type of deal, so this way he can't let me attack him. So we're going to do the opposite. This is going to help us set up the armbar. Let's take a look, and then we'll break it down. Here we go. So, the idea behind an armbar is that we're taking our opponent's arm and we're straightening it. We're then placing our hips underneath the elbow joint and we're pulling the arm backwards in the direction it shouldn't go. This is called hyperextension, and when we do this, eventually the elbow is going to pop or dislocate, and this is obviously going to hurt our partner, which will result in them tapping out. So, we need to be able to get our hips underneath that arm. So, first things first, starting in the mount position, we're going to grab both of the sleeves and we're going to start pulling them up towards us. One little detail we like to add is you can walk your hips up higher so that you're in more of a high mount. Now from here, I'm going to take one arm, I come underneath, I hook his elbow, and I drop my chest down on top of his arm. This ensures that his elbow is now against my chest and it's not able to come back to his body. This is my balance hand. So this hand should be kind of probing around and making sure that I'm keeping my balance. Because remember, when I'm doing an arm bar, he's trying to prevent this. So he's going to be bucking and moving around. So this hand is just going to help me stay stable. So I'm pulling this elbow across my body. I'm going to start to climb up his body. So I take my knee, I bring it up to his head. I'm constantly squeezing my knees together. So when I'm in this position, this knee is trying to touch this knee, so I'm squeezing. Now my knee is on his head. I'm going to start to turn and face this direction. As I do that, my leg kicks straight, and I bring my heel to his ear. We call this the S mount because my legs look like they're shaped in the letter S. Now, in this situation, in this position, I'm sitting on top of my partner's chest. So make sure when you're drilling this, don't sit here for too long. That's why I'm sitting back on my bottom right now. But in reality, I would be sitting up on their chest. Once I'm in that position, I'm going to lean and put my hand on the mat. This is going to help me be able to move this back leg over his head much easier. As I lean forward, I spin that leg over the head, and I sit down on my bottom. I should still have a hold of his elbow here. I've never let go of this, because this is going to keep his elbow against my chest. Now I squeeze my knees tight, and from here, I'm going to collect the wrist. 1, 2, and I put it, pinky, onto the shoulder. I'm squeezing my knees tight. The reason I do this is to make it difficult for him to pull this arm out, and also to make it so that when I pull his arm down into my hips, I have a little bit of a platform because I'm squeezing my knees tight. So to finish this, I need to lift my hips up into his elbow and pull his hand down towards me. So I'm going to slowly start to lay on my back, good knee squeeze, as I lift my hips up and pull his hand down. As soon as he taps, we can release. So a couple of details that we want to look at when we do the armbar. If you have difficulty getting your leg over their head, when we're in this position here, one of the common errors is that you're not leaning forward enough. So you try to just kind of awkwardly step that leg over, or worse yet, you actually sit down on your bottom first, and then you try to throw that leg over the head. Now both of these are going to result in your opponent sitting up and escaping the armbar position, because this leg needs to be over their head, because this is what is preventing them from simply rolling up into me. So if I'm sitting here, Coach Seth can just roll up into me, and now he can escape the armbar. So it's almost like I'm using my legs to cage him in. This leg is over his head. This leg can be over the ribs or the waist. So once I'm in this position, I'm ready to finish. So to help us prevent that and make it so that we keep our weight on them, once we're here in this position, we lean forward and put our hand on the mat over here. So this is going to make it much easier for me to get this left leg over his head. So I extend my leg, loop it over, and instantly sit. Again, good knee squeeze, and I'm ready to finish. Let's go ahead and look at your arm bar. We'll flip this around so you can see it from the back. And this is one of your basic setups for the armbar from the mount. Again, there's a lot of ways to do an armbar, but this is one of the ones that we find a lot of success with. So take your time, make sure you keep your weight on your partner, and don't kick him in the head. That's not nice.
Yes. Lean forward, not backward.